What's good, y'all, man? I feel like I have to record this one not as King Recon, but as Omar. You know what I mean? Like, this one hurt. This one hurt a lot. Because this felt like the one video that I was just like, man, I can't do it. I can't do it because it would be like saying goodbye to someone that you've known for so many years. And this someone is an individual who has impacted you in so many ways that they'll never know. The amount of impact that they had on you growing up. You didn't even know yourself the impact that this thing had on you until it was gone. You know, man, above all else, bro, thank you. Thank you, Kentaro Miura, for truly crafting and creating one of the greatest stories ever told. Ever told. And without question, a staple of this industry that we love so much. In the world of animation, in the world of comics, he left his mark forever. And no one will ever be able to take that away. No one will ever be able to take that away, man. And I couldn't thank him anymore. Massive thank you to the Berserk community, skullknight.net, for all the nights spent scrolling through the forums and just seeing how other people felt about the chapters, the story, the individuals on Twitter, here on YouTube as well. My boy Austin for getting me into Berserk back when I was in high school. My cousin Lewis for catching up to the series alongside me. It's just... But once again, man, above all else, just a thank you to Kentaro Miura. May his soul rest in peace, bro. Just, of course, I didn't know the guy. I wish I could have, But, earlier today, for my literature class, I was reading about a story where there were two brothers, and one of the brothers had a real hard time speaking to his other brother about how he truly felt. And the brother he was trying to get, his feelings and thoughts across to was an individual that was chasing his passion in music. And so by the time that the story was coming to a close, he was finally able to discover how his brother was truly feeling because of the music that he played. And it brought tears to his brother's eyes because his feelings reached, his life story reached. They didn't need to talk. He just had to listen to his music. He listened to his art speak for him. And that's how I feel about Berserk, man. And I'm sure that that's how so many other individuals, just based on what I've seen the past couple days, also feel about Berserk. Because we're so, in this anime manga space, especially in my case, I know it is for a lot of you out there as well. This whole consuming fiction thing is really a part of our lives, man. Like, it almost feels like we're directly connected to these authors whenever we read their works. And I truly believe in the power of storytelling, the power of fiction, and how it can help and positively impact individuals. And this is his life's work, man. You know, like he said in interviews, with crafting the story initially based on people that he grew up with, and on individuals that he met within that time period. You know, basing him from them and also from himself. He was just putting his work, his life, and the lives of those around him onto the page. His life story on the page, man. And it's a life story that so many of us have been inspired by, with the amazing tale of perseverance when it comes to guts, and, you know, being the symbol of persevering no matter what's happening, but also a great symbol for finding hope in our scars and finding hope in the little detours that take place in life, finding joy in the little detours. And then with Griffith, man, it was a huge lesson for me when I first read Berserk. And, you know, being so consumed by my dream to want to do this thing, this whole writing thing, and, you know, nothing else mattered. But when I remember reading Berserk, and when I saw what happened to the eclipse, I was like, man, I don't want that to happen to me. I don't want to be so consumed by my own dream that I'd be willing to literally sacrifice the people that mean the most to me. You know, and it really caused like an eye-opening experience on my end, and I'll never forget the way that I felt. I mean, sometimes whenever I look back and I think on that, I'm like, man, it's Berserk, bro. And you know something, you know, as I've gone back, I spent the last couple days, the reason why I didn't release any videos, number one, I just wasn't prepared. I wasn't mentally prepared to come on here and record again after receiving this news. But I also went back and I took the time to reread a lot of my favorite stuff in this story. And, you know, of course, reread legendary stuff, but there was one particular portion that really stuck out to me more than ever. That's in volume 37. And, well, first and foremost, man, let me just, come on now. But it's the Guts flashback in this volume, man. And I remember reading the final page right here for this chapter, or the final few pages of this chapter. And when I got to this page right here, and then I went back and I reread the Falcon of the Millennium Empire stuff. And it made me realize something that hurt, man. It hurt a lot. It hurt a lot because I promised myself I would never do this after Naruto ended. When Naruto ended, I told myself I am never going to let the way that others feel about a story influence the way that I feel about a story. Because I still regret the way that I treated Naruto towards its end. And I didn't even treat it wrong. I just didn't treat it the way that I wanted to treat it, which was like the rightful king that it is in Naruto, right? So like I always hold that to I refuse to ever let the public opinion of a story influence the way that I feel about something. Because I don't want to finish it and feel like I could have done more, or that I wasn't being true to myself. And little did I know, man, I was doing that with Berserk this whole time. And I've always considered it one of the GOATs. But that's just the thing. I feel like I took it for granted. I legitimately feel like I took Berserk for granted. You know, when I think about just when the conversation is brought up for almost anything, it's like the sky is blue. You know, of course Berserk is a masterpiece. Of course Berserk is incredible. Of course it has some of the greatest arcs of all time. Of course it has the most anticipated battle ever in Guts and Griffith. Of course it has the greatest art. Of course it's the golden standard for not only flashbacks but for visual imagery. It's Berserk. Of course it is. But it's like, no. It's like, you need to appreciate the fact that this man, Kentaro Miura, made it to where the gold standard of his manga was so incredible that it is a masterpiece because of all the work that he put into it. It's like, It's not just because it's Berserk. There was an individual behind the lines that was making this happen on a consistent basis. And I feel like I took that for granted, bro. And the more that I think about it, the more it hurts. The more it really, really hurts, man. Because it's like it was right in front of my face the entire time and I just couldn't see it. Because I was trying, because Berserk was my second manga after One Piece, man, I was always trying to find like something else that could live up to the standards of those two. And it's like with everything that came in, it's like when you think of these certain things, when you think about the art, when you think about the characterization, when you think about the visual imagery, when you think about the gold standard for flashbacks, when you think about all this different type of stuff, and it's like, well, of course Berserk is in the conversation. It's Berserk. The sky is blue. You know, water keeps you healthy. You know, these obvious things. It's like Berserk almost became second nature in the fact that it's phenomenal. Let's move on to the next thing. And it's like, even though I spent so much time analyzing chapter by chapter, characters, talking about how much it influenced, I feel like I took it for granted. I feel like I didn't give it enough time. I mean, when I seriously look back at the entire series, I feel like I took it for granted. I do. I feel like I didn't give it the enough respect that it truly deserves. Because Miura set such a gold standard for himself and set every single arc being so different from each other. And 3 of the greatest arcs ever, 4 of 5 of the greatest arcs ever made. An amazing introduction saga in the Black Swordsman arc, the greatest flashback ever in the Golden Age, a legendary characterization work masterclass in The Lost Children, Conviction, Falcon of the Millennium Empire, and then what we were about to get into in Fantasia was about to be another banger. And it's like, because it was just always a 10, you never, at least for me, I was like, yeah, of course, it's Miura, it's Berserk, it's gonna be high quality. But it's like, I feel like I took that for granted because that's not growing on trees. You're not just gonna find a manga that does that growing on trees every single day. That's special, man. My man from 1989 until now was producing high quality content week in and week out. And it's like, man, it hurts, bro. It really, really hurts. I feel like I took it for granted. And not only that, now when I think about Miura, his journey, his legacy, I think the way I've been feeling and looking at my favorite manga, my favorite stories ever made, I'm looking at them in an entirely different light, man. Because I have realized just how much these stories mean to me. When I saw the news break, because I connected to this work of fiction so much that it was almost like I was talking to the author, like we were having a conversation when I was reading this manga, man. And so, dude, if there's one thing besides a thank you to Kentaro Miura that I want to say in this video, that it's a number one, yo, don't take any of this for granted, man. Don't take any of this for granted, bro. You know, Berserk, your favorite mangas, favorite mangakas, these individuals that are putting in so much hard work, they're out here slaving themselves, killing themselves, to bring us entertainment, to bring us these life lessons, these life stories. And I know why they do it. They do it out of the passion. They do it out of their love for this stuff. And they do it out of the culture that has been built over there on that side of the world. But it's like, man, dude, if one of them wants to go on break, who are we to tell them no when we see something like this? Who are we to tell them no, bro? Let them go on a vacation for 10 years for this greatness they've given us, man. Look, we've got to stabilize these working conditions, bro. And I said, the more I think about Togashi, and every single time that he would go on to hit the pages, like my boy Shadow sent it to me the other day, and it really made me think. Like, he came on here talking about his back pain, and we would just be like, oh man, he's trolling or Dragon Quest or whatever the case may be. But no, my man's is legitimately in pain, bro. And then you think about all the other mangaka in the weekly magazines that they're out here sleeping 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. Just, it's like, man, dude. It's like, man, we gotta pay some more respect to these individuals that bring us this level of quality on a consistent basis. Not even just quality, man. These stories that mean so much to us. You know, we gotta pay some more respect to these individuals, bro. They're giving it everything that they have for us, dog. But man, like, yo, seriously, man, I don't know. And I feel like I thought it was gonna be easier today, but just talking about it, like I said, coming off of rereading some greatness, and it really chokes you up, bro. It does. Because it truly is a one-of-a-kind series. There is no other story that I have ever experienced that's like Berserk, bro. Like Kentaro Miura's vision, his ability to transfer what's up here onto the page is insane. His ability to visualize all of that, like when you go back and you look at those double page spreads, and you're like, yo, a human being drew this. But the thing that's most crazy to me about Berserk is that it's like, yo, a human being drew this and he did it consistently. It's not every couple chapters. It is, yo, he's delivering these insanely incredible, just paintings. Or not even just paintings. It feels like it's a museum inside of your manga volumes. I mean, this stuff that deserves to be in plaques all over the world. And it's like, all art aside, the attention to detail when it comes to the characters and their struggles, and every single character being different and their own struggles related to each other, and how they're able to persevere and push forward because of each other. I mean, just the messages. I mean, Berserk at its core, bro. I understand, you know, the especially like whenever you're first getting into it and you see it's like, oh man, you know, Guts is a beast. He goes running, he's going ham. And you see crazy, amazing stuff like the Berserk armor. I mean, that always have a special place in my heart because I love transformations. But like all of that stuff is on the top. When you look at the core of Berserk, man, it really is a tale about the perseverance of humans, and a tale about humans being humans, bro. And it's like there's so many themes that you can rip out of Berserk and apply to your own self. I mean, you don't even have to think about it. We're living it. We're living, and you talk to anybody that Berserk means any type of thing to them, and they'll tell you like, yo, this thing means a lot to me because of X, Y, and Z. The Tale of Guts means a lot to me because of X, Y, and Z. And I think that's what just sets this apart, man. It makes it such a special story. Because not only does it have the core values and the themes and the messages that'll stick with you forever, but just as a story and as a piece of work, it just always remained incredibly, just consistently phenomenal. And like I said, man, I feel like I took it for granted. I honestly feel like I took it for granted, bro. It's, stuff like this doesn't grow on trees. So, man, thank you, Kentaro Miura, for creating one of the most influential stories for me. My first introduction to a manga outside of a Shonen Jump magazine, and just opening up my world to what could be. And what's truly possible within the medium of comics. Not even just manga, in comics. Because this is truly one of the greatest comics ever. Ever. This is a story that transcends its medium, man. So I want to thank him for all the time he put in, all the hours he's been thinking, storyboarding, erasing and drawing, and the entire process. Because it's something that means a lot to me, man. And it will forever mean a lot to me. And doesn't die till he's forgotten, bro. I mean, we're never gonna forget Kentaro Miura. Long live Berserk. And the story of Guts has impacted so many, man.